Well, Kyah, welcome home. It's exciting. How does it feel to finally, after all these years, be back wearing that beautiful sky blue jersey?
Yeah, it feels like home to me. I think the long-standing history that I have with Sydney FC. I played a lot of my football here. I think it's been a total of 7 years that I've been in the sky blue. So to be back here in my home city for this amazing club is just a really nice moment for me, and I guess it brings back a lot of those feelings and emotions of what I felt in the earlier parts of my career, and hoping to emulate a lot of that success that we had in those earlier stages as well this season.
Because you essentially grew up, I suppose, as a footballer playing for Sydney FC, winning 2 championships, 1 premiership with Sydney FC back in the day. What do you remember most about those days playing for Sydney FC?
Yeah, I have so many fond memories, I think, of those earlier days with Sydney FC. Obviously played my football, a lot of my junior football here in Sydney with a lot of my Matildas teammates throughout the years, and shared our club football, but also with the national team football, and got to form a lot of really great connections on and off the pitch, and to have lifted a couple of trophies in that time and a premiership as well, are very close memories for me, and very fond memories. Specifically remember the grand final down in Melbourne at Amy Park when we beat Melbourne Victory on that day, and it was one of those games where everything just clicked for us. I remember there was Sam Kerr, Caitlin Ford, Alana Kennedy, and myself from the Matildas in that team, and to think that's where a lot of our football began here in the A-League, and being able to take us to different parts and corners of the globe, I guess, throughout our careers. For me then to come back home and be back in the sky blue is just a really nice sentiment.
Yeah, it's fantastic to hear you mention those names and how influential they were back in the day for Sydney FC, and now, of course, for the Matildas over quite a few years. Just tell us a bit more about your journey and some of the experiences you've really enjoyed since leaving Sydney FC.
Yeah, look, like I said, my career started here in Sydney, and I've got my first break to go overseas as a 20-year-old to America, and went over there my first pro contract in Boston in the US, and to think that my professional career has been going on for 16 years now with the national team, with the Matildas, but then also across the globe in terms of being able to play in America for Boston Breakers, for the Houston Dash, then also going over to Europe for PSV in the Netherlands, and most recently Tottenham Hotspur in the UK. And football's given me, I guess, the opportunity to travel the world that I never thought I would be able to, and given me, I guess, the opportunity to see so many different cultures along the way, and also be able to, I guess, become a holistic person as well as footballer, and be able to make different friendships and meet new people along the way. I feel so grateful to be in this sport and for the opportunities that it has given me, and I think that's what makes it so special to be able to come back this season and be able to hopefully give back to the city, to the club, who gave me so much of my foundations to be the footballer and the person I am today.
So you obviously had plenty of experience on the international stage as well, scoring goals at World Cups and playing Olympics. Just tell us a bit about some of those experiences and what you remember about them.
Yeah, look, I think having a dream as a young 8-year-old girl to play for Australia one day seemed like a goal so far down the track that potentially it was unattainable, and to have the opportunity to represent the Matildas at the age of 16 is still a career highlight for me. Knowing, I guess, the up and down journey I had to getting to that point, it was a really proud moment for myself and my family, and being able to have been in the team for the last 16 years, where the game was, I guess the first year playing in the A-League, I was a full-time retail assistant at Rebel Sport, as well as playing for Sydney FC, as well as going to my first World Cup, and that was just the norm, I think, for us female footballers, was that we had to have another job as well as being a footballer. I remember I played for free my first season, and yeah, times were tough, but I think the moment that you wear the sky blue jersey, or for me wearing the green and gold at a World Cup, at an Olympic Games, they're the moments that makes it all worth it, makes the trials and tribulations all worth it, the ups and downs and the sacrifice that we as female athletes have had to put in our whole careers, and being able to play at my first World Cup as an 18-year-old in 2011, being able to score my first World Cup goals in 2015 in Canada, and yeah, making history, I think, with the team has been highlights for me and memories that I'll cherish forever, and that will stay with me forever.
And from a personal point of view as well, and I suppose as well as a team point of view, you must be still looking to achieve many things at Sydney FC. What are your ambitions this season?
Yeah, I think my number one ambition is to win the premiership and to win the championship. I think being associated and being at a club like Sydney FC, there's a long history of success, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to come back to Sydney FC, was because it is a successful club. There's high standards and demands, and being in that professional environment, it allows me to be able to express myself as a footballer, and I believe be able to play my best football knowing that I am in a professional environment. So yeah, there's two goals there. It's to definitely win the premiership, win the championship, and in terms of being able to be as impactful as I can be individually, and bring my qualities to the team to help us be successful.
Obviously, with Ante Juric being the head coach, how much of an influence has he had sort of on your career, and also bringing you back here from his time when he was part of the Matildas setup?
Yeah, look, obviously know Ante from many years ago. Football's a very small world, so you're always crossing paths. He was in the Matildas setup for a while as well. And I guess his track record speaks for itself in terms of the success that he's had from day one coming back into this environment, and him, I guess, setting the standards across the board in terms of his expectations for the team, but also putting the onus on us as the playing group to have high standards and expectations for ourselves and each other. So I'm really looking forward to playing under Ante this season. I do believe he's the type of coach that will bring the best out in me in terms of being, hard and putting his foot down when he needs to be, but also allowing you and allowing me to be able to express myself and bring my individual flair and creativity that I have in my game.
And it's still a huge momentum shift in terms of the women's game in this country. How much more do you think the likes of yourself, other players in the league, and also the Sydney public can do to really support the game and to bring out as many fans as we possibly can at these A-League women's games?
Yeah, look, I think the World Cup last year showed us that we are a footballing nation. It showed us that we do have a lot of people, non-football people, but also football people, who are passionate about the women's game. So I'm really hoping the numbers will show out this season for the A-League. It's obviously it's our homegrown league. It's a league where a lot of us Matildas came through and produced us into the players that we are today. So if we can get behind the Matildas, I'm sure we can get behind our local talent here, essentially our future Matildas here in this league right now. So yeah, I would encourage loads of people to come out to see a game, watch it in person. It's very different than to watching on TV, get to meet the girls and be able to experience what a female football event is like here in the country, and hopefully we can put on a great display at the same time.
And support, as you say, the future Matildas who are still coming through into the Sydney FC and other A-League clubs.
Yeah, I mean, our team is stacked with a lot of young talent and promising talent to be the next crop of players that will play for the Matildas. So we need as much support behind them, behind the league, to ensure that stepping stone and that pathway is as clear possible, and we can help, I guess, fire them into the national team setup, and essentially they're the next crop coming through. So the more support we can give our domestic league, the more prosperous our national teams will be in the future.